everyone, this is Nikki from the design team. Today I'm going to take you through some fun Spellbinders new products. This is just a sneak peek, but I made a fun slimline with these products and they are so cool. So let me take you through them and then I'm going to show you how I made the card. If you haven't done it yet, would you hit that subscribe and like button? That way you will get notified of all these new products from ScrapbookPal when we make a video. This is the mini Christmas sentiment strips, and there are 28 different plates in here plus a cutting die. So if you make lots of holiday cards and you need lots of different options for those little sentiment strips, this is a great way to do it. You can pick and choose because these are not a solid plate. So each of the sentiments is a specific plate. And so we've got this nice cutting die, which cuts about 1/4 of an inch, which is a really hard cut to make on your own if you've ever tried doing that. But I'll show you how this fits. See how it fits perfectly right there? You got lots of extra room with this cutting die. It's really fun. The next item that I use is this Diagonal Stripes Slimline. It's an embossing folder, and this is what the background of my card is going to be. I'm just going to emboss this on white. You could do some really cool things with those stripes. You could ink it up and create some kind of peppermint. It would be really cute. But the main part of this card is this set. So I love this set. It is called the Flourished Ornament Slimline, and it has so many pieces, 19 cutting pieces in here. I will show you in my video how to use these. Sometimes people get a little overwhelmed when they flip this over and see all these pieces and how to put them together. So it's got frames, it's got ornaments, it's got ways that you can assemble those ornaments differently, so you could make so many different cards. Just get your die cutting machine out. It has this little round thing that fits around 2 of the flourishes, and then you got 2 smaller ornament sizes. They don't have to be round ornaments, and I'll show you that in my card. And just so you know, everything will be listed in the description, so don't worry about keeping up with names and all of that. I'm going to quickly take you through the hot foil process, but not in depth. The main part of this video is going to be putting together these dies, because this set, I don't want it to be overwhelming for anyone because it is so fun. So whenever I'm hot foiling, I do several colors, but this one is the matte gold, and look at how pretty these sentiments look. I just did 3. You could do the whole plate at once, but I did 3 and spread mine out a little bit so that I will be able to die cut them easily with that little strip. And here's how that strip fits. It's about 1/4 of an inch, but you see it leaves just a little bit of white on each side. Looks amazing. I'm going to start by showing you the outline pieces that I'm going to use for my card. I've got the 2 circles, and you could make a card with just circles and these, but all of these flourishes and the decoration on these looks so cute, so of course we'll be using those. I'm going to show you how to put this together to cut out the front part and how to cut out the back so that you've got something to color. So first step, cut out the outlines. I did mine in white paper because I knew I was going to do ink blending as my colors, but you could also do this in colored cardstock, and these are the shapes that our pretty flourishes are going to go on. And this is what I mean by flourish, these fancy middle parts of your ornament. And you'll see it fits on here, but you need your outline. So you're gonna have to use that outline that you just cut the circle out with, and I'm gonna show you an easy way to put those together. So I'm going to be cutting on gold, and you see the centers here make that beautiful flourish, and we'll be putting that on the front of our ornaments. But these pieces, since they're separate, you need to get them to where they are perfectly even inside the circle. So see how my top left circle is a little bit off? And here's the way to do that. Use some washi tape and get your circles the way they need to be. I always leave a little bit extra on the outside so that I can tape it to my paper, and that way it doesn't move on my die cutting platform. So take your time, line these up, use some good washi tape. You could use some other type of not super sticky tape. This washi tape did fine on this gold background. I was a little worried it might pull some of the finish off, but it did perfectly fine. And I used these taped washi pieces probably 8 or 9 times and then had to replace them to make sure they stayed sticky. So they really do last a long time. So to add some extra interest, I did some gold glitter paper. You're gonna need really sticky washi to hold this down. So I think I changed out my washi and I'm just using a scrap piece because these pieces are so small that you can get a whole lot. So I did a lot of these in this gold glitter and it just adds that shiny glitter plus gold foil plus the gold foil paper. It's gonna be amazing. I'm going to run all these colors in a title along the bottom so you can see because I forgot to flip my lid over here. And this one is Party Dress. But basically I decided I would ink blend all my pieces. That way I could do a lot of different colors and I didn't have to worry about trying to figure out my cardstock. With these Catherine Pooler inks, it's very easy to ink blend, but also you can just apply directly to the pieces your colors. Let me show you how that looks. So I wanted my bottoms and tops to be a little bit darker. So I just did that direct pressing them onto the pieces, and then I used my brush. If it was just a little bubbly or it didn't seem quite even, I used my brush just to kind of spread that out. So I don't want to take you through too much ink blending because I feel like there's so much more to this card. So let's get to putting it together. So I'm going to use this embossing folder on a piece of just plain white cardstock, and that will create our background. So this, I cut it to about the size just to make it easier to go through my machine, and then you use the setting for embossing folders. Look at how much dimension that has. Ooh, super exciting. So next I'm going to build the frame, and it has three pieces. It has the one that's already down on the paper that cuts out, this one that I'm putting in the middle that does an impression, and then if you want that impression to be a solid piece, you don't have to put the middle in, but I'm putting this cutting piece. So we got cutting, impression, and cutting so that it will make a frame. Same as our other ornaments, you need to tape this down or it's not going to be perfectly even. So I'm making sure I've got the correct spacing here, and then I'm going to use some more of the washi tape, and I'm going to tape this down, and I'm going to tape each piece to make sure I've got all my pieces taken care of. So now I'm working on the middle section, and I'm going to make sure I've taped over the middle section as well. When you're cutting your frame, you want to make sure everything that you're using fits inside. So I've got all of these laid out how I want them, and then we can start looking at putting the fronts on and getting everything together. The long skinny piece of gold that I just held up could be like something that's holding the ornaments, but in this card you just don't have enough room for that. So I'm going to just put the tops and bottoms of the ornaments on. That way it actually fits on my card. Now it's time to assemble pieces. So one thing that you could have done that might make this a little bit faster is to cut your die cut pieces out on double-sided adhesive so you can quickly lay them down. I did mine with glue because I like to be able to move the image around if I'm not sure, but these were they fit so well, it's pretty easy to line it up. So I think using a double-sided adhesive before you did your die cutting would be perfectly fine. And you see how when I die cut these, they still have some of their middle pieces in, which is kind of nice because you could use it as a solid gold piece if you wanted to, and then you wouldn't have to have the backgrounds or those extra colors. There's a lot of different things you could do with this die. Now it's just a matter of putting the thing together. And so when I do this, I started with my ornaments and I started with the middle. I knew I wanted the middle to be the tallest. So I went on and popped up the middle, and then I started tucking my ornaments in different ways. That means that some things need foam tape and some don't. And some may even need a different level of foam tape. So if that's the case, I would add an extra piece of cardstock behind instead of the foam tape. I did try in some areas to double up my foam tape, but that was a little bit too tall. So instead I just added extra cardstock behind with foam tape or without to create these different levels. That means that with my sentiment here, which I really wanted to go all the way across the middle, I just thought it looked really cute. I used that die to cut it out, but that means I'm going to have different levels. So on one end I'm going to need some foam tape, and the other end I'm just going to need regular double-sided adhesive. So just remember you got different levels, and sometimes that's hard to see on a video, but it really makes a difference on your card if you pay attention to those levels. Here's that final card, and I just love this rainbow Christmas ornaments. That just makes me happy. I hope that everyone enjoyed this video. If you need information on the supplies, they will be in the description. And make sure that if you haven't done it yet, that you hit the like and subscribe button here on the Scrapbook Pal channel. We'd love to see you again. Have a great day. Bye!